Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. In today's video, we delve into the full story of the Quran as you've never seen it before. Join us on an enlightening journey as we uncover the rich history, profound teachings, and the miraculous nature of the Quran. From its revelation to its compilation, we'll explore the essence of this divine scripture in a way that sheds new light on its timeless wisdom. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Revelation Begins. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the incredible story of the Quran, a journey like you've never heard it before. Let's kick things off with the very beginning, the revelation itself. So picture this. It's the year 610 CE in the bustling city of Mecca. At this time, Mecca is a hub of commerce and culture, but it's also a place steeped in idolatry and polytheism. Amidst this, there's a man named Muhammad, known for his honesty and integrity, who often retreats to a cave on Mount Hira to meditate and reflect. One night, during the month of Ramadan, something extraordinary happens. Muhammad is in the cave, alone with his thoughts, when suddenly, the angel Gabriel appears before him. Imagine the shock and awe of seeing an angelic being for the first time. Gabriel commands him, "Read," but Muhammad, who is illiterate, responds, "I cannot read." Gabriel embraces him tightly and repeats the command 2 more times. Finally, Muhammad is able to recite the words revealed to him. "Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging substance. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he knew not." These words, known as the first verses of Surah Al-Alaq, mark the beginning of the revelation of the Quran. Muhammad rushes home, trembling and overwhelmed, to his wife Khadijah, who comforts and reassures him. She becomes the first believer, recognizing the truth and significance of his experience. This moment in the cave of Hira is not just a personal transformation for Muhammad, but the dawn of a new era. The revelation continues over 23 years, shaping a profound spiritual and social revolution. Chapter 2. The Call to Islam. After the initial revelation, Muhammad receives more verses which emphasize monotheism and the oneness of God, or Allah. These early messages also stress the importance of compassion, justice, and accountability in the hereafter. With Khadijah by his side, Muhammad begins to share these revelations with close friends and family. Among the first converts are his cousin Ali, his close friend Abu Bakr, and his adopted son Zaid. These early followers form the foundation of the small but growing Muslim community. Imagine the courage it took for Muhammad to openly preach these new ideas in Mecca, a city where the powerful Quraysh tribe held sway with their polytheistic beliefs and economic interests tied to idol worship. Despite the initial secrecy, word starts to spread, and Muhammad's message begins to attract more followers, especially among the poor and marginalized who are drawn to the Quran's call for social justice and equality. However, not everyone is pleased with this new movement. The Quraysh leaders see it as a direct threat to their authority and the economic benefits they derive from the pilgrimage trade to the Kaaba, filled with idols. The tension starts to build, setting the stage for the coming struggles and persecution. Chapter 3. Persecution of Muslims. As Muhammad's message gains traction, the Quraysh's hostility grows. They employ various tactics to suppress the new faith, from mockery and slander to physical violence and economic sanctions. Muslims are harassed in the streets, ostracized from their families, and some even face brutal torture. Among the most heart-wrenching stories is that of Bilal, an Ethiopian slave who endures severe torture for his belief in the oneness of Allah. Despite the excruciating pain, Bilal remains steadfast, repeatedly proclaiming, Ahad, Ahad, One, One. His unwavering faith becomes a symbol of resilience and hope for the early Muslim community. To further isolate Muhammad and his followers, the Quraysh impose a social and economic boycott against the Banu Hashim clan, to which Muhammad belongs. For 3 long years, Muslims and their supporters endure extreme hardship, facing starvation and deprivation in the harsh valley outside Mecca. It's a period of immense suffering, but it also strengthens the bond and solidarity among the believers. Despite the persecution, the message of Islam continues to spread, attracting new followers from various walks of life. The Quraysh's efforts to quash the movement only serve to highlight the profound impact of the Quran's teachings, sowing the seeds for the eventual transformation of Arabian society. Chapter 4. Migration to Abyssinia. As the persecution intensifies, Muhammad seeks a safe haven for his followers. He advises a group of Muslims to migrate to Abyssinia, modern-day Ethiopia, where a just and compassionate Christian king, King Negus, rules. This marks the first hijrah, migration, in Islamic history. Imagine the treacherous journey across the Red Sea to a foreign land, driven by faith and the hope of finding peace. Upon reaching Abyssinia, the Muslims present their case to King Negus, explaining the essence of their faith and the reasons for their flight. The Quraysh, not wanting to lose their grip, send emissaries to persuade the king to return the refugees. In a dramatic court scene, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, a cousin of Muhammad, eloquently speaks on behalf of the Muslims. He recites verses from Surah Maryam, touching the heart of King Negus and his court. Moved by the message and the sincerity of the Muslims, the king grants them asylum, refusing to hand them over to the Quraysh. This moment underscores the universal appeal of the Quran's message and the solidarity between people of different faiths. The migration to Abyssinia provides the Muslim community with much-needed relief and a chance to practice their faith without fear. It also highlights the importance of seeking justice and protection, themes deeply rooted in the Quran. Chapter 5. The Year of Sorrow. The struggle for the nascent Muslim community continues, and the challenges seem unending. The year 619 CE becomes known as the Year of Sorrow due to 2 devastating losses for Muhammad: the death of his beloved wife Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib. Khadija was not only Muhammad's wife, but also his closest confidant and unwavering supporter. Her death leaves a profound void in his life. Abu Talib, though not a Muslim, provided crucial protection to Muhammad against the Quraysh. With his passing, Muhammad loses a significant source of support and security. These personal tragedies coincide with an increase in the Quraysh's hostility. With Abu Talib gone, the tribe intensifies their efforts to harm Muhammad, making his mission even more precarious. Seeking solace and new opportunities, Muhammad travels to the nearby town of Ta'if, hoping to find support and refuge. Instead, he is met with ridicule and violence, driven out by the townspeople throwing stones at him. In one of the most poignant moments of his life, battered and bleeding, Muhammad prays to Allah, expressing his sorrow and seeking guidance. Despite the rejection and pain, he remains steadfast in his mission, demonstrating profound patience and resilience. This period of immense grief and hardship, while incredibly challenging, also sets the stage for new beginnings. It underscores the Quranic themes of patience, trust in Allah, and the belief that after hardship comes ease. These themes resonate deeply with the Muslim community, inspiring them to remain steadfast in their faith and mission. Chapter 6: The Night Journey and Ascension. We are continuing our journey through the story of the Quran. Let's dive into one of the most miraculous and awe-inspiring events in Islamic history: the Night Journey and Ascension, also known as Isra and Miraj. So, imagine this. It's a particularly difficult time for Muhammad. He's been facing relentless persecution, and the loss of his beloved wife Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib has left him deeply sorrowful. In the midst of this hardship, Allah grants him an incredible journey that not only comforts him, but also fortifies his mission. One night, while in Mecca, Muhammad is visited by the angel Gabriel. In an instant, he is transported from the Kaaba in Mecca to the farthest mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque, in Jerusalem. This miraculous journey, known as the Isra, happens in the blink of an eye on a mystical creature called Barak, described as being larger than a donkey but smaller than a mule, and capable of traveling at immense speeds. In Jerusalem, Muhammad leads all the previous prophets in prayer, signifying his role as the seal of the prophets and the unity of the divine message. This gathering of prophets is a profound moment, illustrating the continuity and universality of the message of monotheism. But the journey doesn't end there. From Jerusalem, Muhammad ascends to the heavens in the second part of this miraculous event, known as the Miraj. As he ascends through the seven heavens, he meets various prophets along the way, including Adam, John the Baptist, Jesus, Joseph, Idris, Aaron, Moses, and Abraham. Each encounter reinforces the shared mission and the profound connection between the prophets. Finally, Muhammad reaches the highest point, where he experiences the divine presence and receives one of the most significant commandments for Muslims, the 5 daily prayers. Initially, the command is for 50 prayers a day, but through the intercession of Moses, Muhammad returns to Allah multiple times, requesting a reduction until it is set at 5, with the reward of 50. The night journey and ascension is not just a miraculous event, but a profound spiritual experience that strengthens Muhammad's resolve and provides solace during a time of great difficulty. It also underscores the importance of prayer in the life of a Muslim, serving as a direct connection between the believer and the Creator. Chapter 7: The Migration to Medina. As the situation in Mecca becomes increasingly untenable, it becomes clear that a drastic change is needed. The Muslims need a place where they can practice their faith freely and build a community based on Islamic principles. This brings us to the Hijra, the migration to Medina, which marks a turning point in Islamic history. In the year 622 CE, the people of Yathrib, a city later known as Medina, invite Muhammad and his followers to settle there. The leaders of Yathrib, aware of Muhammad's reputation for fairness and wisdom, seek his guidance in resolving their internal conflicts and uniting their diverse tribes. They pledge their allegiance to Muhammad, promising to protect him and his followers. With this invitation, the stage is set for the Hijra. The Quraysh, determined to stop the migration, plot to kill Muhammad. On the night of the planned assassination, Muhammad slips out of his house, leaving his cousin Ali in his bed to deceive the would-be assassins. Muhammad, accompanied by his close companion Abu Bakr, embarks on the perilous journey to Medina. The journey is fraught with danger, as the Quraysh have placed a bounty on Muhammad's head. To avoid detection, Muhammad and Abu Bakr take refuge in the cave of Thawr for 3 days. During this time, Abu Bakr's daughter, Asma, brings them food and news. Eventually, they continue their journey, relying on the guidance of a skilled navigator to reach Medina safely. Upon arrival in Medina, Muhammad is greeted with open arms by the city's inhabitants. The Hijra not only marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, but also the establishment of the first Muslim community. Muhammad's leadership and the principles of the Qur'an lay the foundation for a society based on justice, compassion, and equality. In Medina, Muhammad continues to receive revelations, guiding the community in matters of faith, law, and social conduct. The bonds of brotherhood between the Muhajirun, migrants from Mecca, and the Ansar, helpers from Medina, exemplify the spirit of unity and cooperation. Chapter 8: The Constitution of Medina. With the Muslim community now established in Medina, Muhammad takes a significant step to ensure peace, justice, and unity among the diverse inhabitants of the city. This brings us to the creation of the Constitution of Medina, a pioneering document in the annals of history. The Constitution of Medina, also known as the Charter of Medina, is a written agreement that outlines the rights and responsibilities of all residents, including Muslims, Jews, and other tribes. It is a testament to Muhammad's leadership and vision for a harmonious and inclusive society. The Constitution begins by affirming the unity of the Muslim Ummah community and the principle of mutual support. It establishes the Muslims as one nation, transcending tribal affiliations and uniting them under the banner of Islam. This sense of brotherhood and solidarity is crucial in the face of external threats and internal divisions. The document also sets forth principles of justice and equality. It guarantees the protection of life, property, and religious freedom for all inhabitants of Medina, regardless of their faith. This inclusivity is revolutionary for its time, highlighting Islam's commitment to coexistence and respect for diversity. Furthermore, the Constitution establishes a system of collective security and mutual defense. It stipulates that if any party within Medina is attacked, all other parties must come to their aid. This pact ensures the safety and stability of the community, fostering a sense of shared responsibility. In addition to these principles, the Constitution outlines guidelines for resolving disputes and administering justice. It emphasizes the importance of arbitration and the rule of law, ensuring that conflicts are settled fairly and peacefully. The Constitution of Medina is a groundbreaking achievement, laying the foundation for a just and cohesive society. It reflects the Quranic values of justice, compassion, and unity, and serves as a model for governance and social harmony. Chapter 9: Early Battles. As the Muslim community in Medina begins to thrive, they soon face external threats from the Quraysh, who are determined to extinguish the new faith. This leads to a series of early battles that test the resolve and faith of the Muslims. The first major confrontation is the Battle of Badr, which takes place in 624 CE. The Quraysh, seeking to protect their trade caravans and crush the Muslims, marched towards Medina with a well-equipped army. Despite being vastly outnumbered and poorly armed, the Muslims, guided by their unwavering faith, prepared to defend themselves. On the day of the battle, the two forces meet at the wells of Badr. The Muslims, numbering around 313, face off against the Quraysh, who boast a force of over 1,000. The odds seem insurmountable, but the Muslims draw strength from their belief in Allah's support. The battle commences, and in a miraculous turn of events, the Muslims achieve a decisive victory. The Quranic verses revealed after the battle highlight the significance of divine support and the role of faith in achieving victory against all odds. The Battle of Badr becomes a symbol of hope and courage for Muslims, demonstrating that righteousness and faith can overcome even the greatest challenges. The victory at Badr, however, intensifies the Quraysh's determination to retaliate. The following year, in 625 CE, they launch another attack, leading to the Battle of Uhud. This time, the Muslims face a more formidable and better prepared enemy. Despite initial successes, a critical mistake by some Muslim archers, who abandoned their posts to pursue spoils of war, turns the tide in favor of the Quraysh. The Battle of Uhud ends in a setback for the Muslims, with many casualties, including the martyrdom of Muhammad's uncle, Hamza. This battle serves as a humbling reminder of the importance of discipline and obedience to divine commands. The Quranic verses revealed in its aftermath emphasize patience, perseverance, and the necessity of learning from mistakes. In 627 CE, the Quraysh, along with several allied tribes, launch a massive assault on Medina, leading to the Battle of the Trench, or the Battle of Azab. Anticipating the attack, the Muslims, under the strategic guidance of Salman the Persian, dig a trench around the vulnerable parts of the city. This innovative defensive strategy takes the Quraysh by surprise and halts their advance. The siege lasts for several weeks, testing the resolve and unity of the Muslim community. Despite the harsh conditions and the constant threat of attack, the Muslims remain steadfast. Their faith and determination ultimately lead to the failure of the Quraysh's siege, who are forced to withdraw in frustration. Chapter 10. Treaty of Hudaybiyah. After years of conflict, a significant development occurs in 628 CE, marking a turning point in the relationship between the Muslims and the Quraysh, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. This treaty not only brings a temporary peace, but also paves the way for the eventual spread of Islam. It all begins when Muhammad and his followers set out for Mecca with the intention of performing the Umrah pilgrimage. Despite their peaceful intentions, the Quraysh, wary of the growing influence of the Muslims, block their entry into the city. Negotiations ensue, leading to a remarkable agreement. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah stipulates several key points. The Muslims must return to Medina without performing the pilgrimage that year, but they will be allowed to return the following year for a 3-day pilgrimage. Additionally, there will be a 10-year truce between the Muslims and the Quraysh, providing a much-needed respite from conflict. At first glance, the treaty seems like a setback for the Muslims. Many of Muhammad's followers are disappointed, feeling that they have conceded too much. However, Muhammad, with his profound wisdom and foresight, recognizes the long-term benefits of the agreement. The truce allows for the peaceful propagation of Islam and opens new opportunities for dialogue and outreach. Over the next 2 years, the number of converts to Islam increases significantly as people witness the peaceful nature and justice of the Muslim community. One of the most notable consequences of the treaty is the eventual conversion of key Quraysh leaders, including Khalid ibn al-Walid and Amr ibn al-As, who later become important figures in Islamic history. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah highlights the importance of diplomacy, patience, and strategic thinking in achieving lasting peace and success. These early battles and the Treaty of Hudaybiyah not only test the faith and resilience of the Muslim community, but also demonstrate the Quranic principles of justice, perseverance, and the pursuit of peace. These events shape the course of Islamic history, laying the foundation for the eventual unification of the Arabian Peninsula under the banner of Islam. Chapter 11. The Battle of the Trench. As the Muslim community in Medina continues to grow, so does the animosity of the Quraysh and their allies. The Battle of the Trench, also known as the Battle of Ahzab, is one of the most critical and strategic confrontations in the early years of Islam. In 627 CE, the Quraysh, unable to tolerate the rise of the Muslims, form a confederation with various tribes and march towards Medina with an army of 10,000 men. This is the largest force the Muslims have faced, and the threat is significant. The Muslims, numbering only 3,000, must find a way to defend their city from this overwhelming force. In a remarkable display of strategic ingenuity, Salman the Persian, one of Muhammad's companions, suggests digging a trench around the vulnerable parts of Medina. This defensive tactic is unfamiliar to the Arabs, but proves to be highly effective. The trench, dug with immense effort and cooperation by the Muslims, stretches across the northern side of the city, the only side open to attack. When the Confederate forces arrive, they are taken aback by this unexpected obstacle. Unable to cross the trench, they resort to a prolonged siege, hoping to wear down the Muslims. For nearly a month, the Muslims endure harsh conditions, with scarce food and constant vigilance required to defend the trench. Throughout the siege, the unity and faith of the Muslim community are put to the test. The Quranic verses revealed during this time emphasize the importance of steadfastness and reliance on Allah. Despite the severe hardships, the Muslims remain resolute, motivated by their trust in Muhammad's leadership and their belief in divine support. The Confederate forces, unable to breach the trench and facing worsening conditions, begin to lose morale. A fierce storm, seen as a sign of divine intervention, further demoralizes them, forcing their withdrawal. The Battle of the Trench ends without a direct confrontation, but it marks a decisive victory for the Muslims. It demonstrates the effectiveness of their defensive strategy and the strength of their faith and unity. Chapter 12. Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Following the victory at the Battle of the Trench, the Muslims continue to seek ways to strengthen their community and establish peace with the Quraysh. This leads to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, a pivotal agreement that sets the stage for the peaceful spread of Islam. In 628 CE, Muhammad dreams of performing the Umrah pilgrimage to Mecca, a dream he shares with his followers. Inspired by this vision, he sets out with 1,400 Muslims, dressed in simple white garments to signify their peaceful intentions. They carry no weapons except sheathed swords, a customary practice for pilgrims. As they approach Mecca, the Quraysh, wary of the Muslims' intentions, block their entry. Tensions rise, but Muhammad, prioritizing peace, agrees to negotiate. The two parties meet at Hudaybiyah, a place near Mecca, to discuss terms. The resulting Treaty of Hudaybiyah includes several key points. The Muslims will return to Medina without performing the pilgrimage that year. They will be allowed to return the following year for a 3-day pilgrimage. There will be a 10-year truce between the Muslims and the Quraysh. Any tribe wishing to ally with either the Muslims or the Quraysh can do so freely. Any Muslim seeking asylum with the Quraysh without the permission of their guardian will be returned, but the reverse will not apply. Initially, many Muslims feel disheartened, perceiving the terms as unfavorable. However, Muhammad understands the long-term benefits of the treaty. It provides a period of peace, allowing for the peaceful propagation of Islam and fostering alliances with other tribes. During the truce, the Muslim community grows significantly. People from various tribes come to Medina to learn about Islam, and many embrace the new faith. The treaty also leads to increased diplomatic interactions, showcasing the principles of justice and compassion central to the Quran. One of the most notable outcomes of the treaty is the eventual conversion of key Quraysh leaders, including Khalid ibn al-Walid and Amr ibn al-As, who later play significant roles in Islamic history. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah underscores the importance of patience, strategic thinking, and diplomacy in achieving lasting peace and success. Chapter 13. The Conquest of Mecca. The period of truce following the Treaty of Hudaybiyah significantly strengthens the Muslim community. However, the Quraysh eventually break the treaty, attacking a tribe allied with the Muslims. This breach provides Muhammad with the justification to take decisive action. In 630 CE, Muhammad gathers an army of 10,000 Muslims and marches towards Mecca. This show of strength and unity is unparalleled in Arabian history. As they approach the city, the Quraysh, recognizing their weakened position, brace for the inevitable. Muhammad, ever the merciful leader, sends a clear message. Those who stay in their homes, in the Kaaba, or in the house of Abu Sufyan will be safe. This declaration prevents unnecessary bloodshed and demonstrates his commitment to peace and forgiveness. Upon entering Mecca, Muhammad and his followers proceed directly to the Kaaba. There he performs tawaf, circling the Kaaba, and orders the destruction of the idols, purifying the sacred site of all traces of idolatry. This act symbolizes the triumph of monotheism over polytheism. In a remarkable display of magnanimity, Muhammad forgives his former enemies, including those who had fiercely opposed him and persecuted his followers. His clemency inspires many to embrace Islam, leading to the rapid spread of the faith across the Arabian Peninsula. The conquest of Mecca is a pivotal moment in Islamic history. It signifies the establishment of Islam as the dominant faith in Arabia and the fulfillment of Muhammad's mission. The Quranic principles of justice, mercy, and forgiveness are exemplified in his actions, leaving a lasting legacy of compassion and unity. Chapter 14. The Farewell Pilgrimage. In 632 CE, Muhammad, aware that his mission is nearing completion, decides to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. This journey, known as the Farewell Pilgrimage, holds immense significance for Muslims as it provides a comprehensive example of how to perform the rituals of Hajj. Muhammad is accompanied by tens of thousands of Muslims from across Arabia, eager to learn and follow his guidance. During this pilgrimage, he delivers a powerful and moving sermon on the plains of Arafat, known as the Farewell Sermon. In this sermon, Muhammad emphasizes several key principles: equality and brotherhood. He declares that all Muslims are equal, regardless of race or social status. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab have any superiority over an Arab. A white has no superiority over a black, nor does a black have any superiority over a white. None have superiority over another except by piety and good action. Justice and fairness. He calls for justice and fairness in all dealings, emphasizing the sanctity of life and property. O people, your blood, your property, and your honor are sacred, like the sanctity of this day, this month, and this city. Women's rights. He stresses the importance of treating women with kindness and respect, recognizing their rights and roles in society. O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to your women, but they also have rights over you. Adherence to the Qur'an and Sunnah. He urges the Muslims to hold fast to the Qur'an and his teachings, Sunnah, as the guiding principles for their lives. I leave behind me two things: the Qur'an and my example, the Sunnah, and if you follow these, you will never go astray. The farewell pilgrimage not only consolidates the rituals of Hajj, but also reinforces the core values of Islam. Muhammad's sermon serves as a lasting testament to the principles of equality, justice, compassion, and adherence to divine guidance. Shortly after the farewell pilgrimage, Muhammad falls ill and passes away in Medina. His death marks the end of an era, but his teachings and the Quran continue to guide Muslims around the world. Chapter 15. The Structure of the Quran. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, is a profound and comprehensive guide for Muslims. It is organized into 114 chapters called surahs, each varying in length and addressing various aspects of life, spirituality, and morality. The surahs are further divided into verses called ayahs. There are over 6,000 ayahs in the Quran, each carrying deep meanings and lessons. The surahs are not arranged in chronological order of revelation, but generally by length, with the longest chapters placed at the beginning and the shorter ones towards the end. The Quran is divided into two main periods of revelation, the Meccan and Medinan periods. The Meccan surahs, revealed during Muhammad's early years in Mecca, primarily focus on monotheism, the afterlife, and the moral and ethical foundations of the faith. These surahs are often shorter and more poetic, reflecting the challenges and opposition faced by the early Muslim community. The Medinan surahs, revealed after the Hijrah to Medina, address the social, legal, and political aspects of establishing an Islamic state. These chapters are generally longer and more detailed, providing guidance on issues such as family life, commerce, and governance. They also include verses related to warfare and the conduct of Muslims in times of conflict. The Quranic themes are diverse and encompass various aspects of human existence. Key themes include monotheism, Tawheed, the absolute oneness of Allah, and the rejection of all forms of idolatry and polytheism. Prophethood, stories and lessons from the lives of previous prophets, highlighting the continuity of the divine message. Hereafter, Akhirah, descriptions of the day of judgment, heaven, Jannah, and hell, Jahannam, emphasizing accountability and the consequences of one's actions. Guidance and law, detailed instructions on personal conduct, family matters, social justice, and legal principles. Spiritual and moral values, encouragement of virtues such as patience, gratitude, honesty, and compassion. The Quran is not just a religious text, but a complete way of life for Muslims. Its teachings encompass every aspect of human existence, providing a comprehensive framework for personal and societal conduct. Muslims believe that the Quran is the literal word of God, revealed in Arabic to Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. Its preservation and authenticity are central to Islamic belief, with millions of Muslims around the world memorizing and reciting its verses in their daily prayers and rituals. The structure of the Quran, with its division into surahs and ayahs, allows for its message to be accessible and comprehensible, guiding Muslims in their spiritual journey and daily lives. Chapter 16. Themes of Monotheism. One of the central themes of the Quran is monotheism, or Tawheed, which emphasizes the absolute oneness of Allah. This concept is the foundation of Islamic belief and permeates the entire Quran, influencing every aspect of Muslim life and spirituality. The Quran repeatedly asserts that Allah is the sole creator and sustainer of the universe. Surah Al-Ikhlas, for example, succinctly encapsulates this belief. Say, He is Allah, who is one, Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. Surah Al-Ikhlas 112:1-4. This chapter, though short, is considered one of the most profound declarations of monotheism. It rejects any form of polytheism, associating partners with Allah, or anthropomorphism, where God is given human attributes. Another aspect of Tawheed is the rejection of idolatry. The Quran condemns the worship of idols, emphasizing that they are powerless and cannot benefit or harm anyone. The story of Prophet Abraham breaking the idols of his people is a powerful narrative, illustrating the futility of idol worship and the importance of recognizing the true nature of the divine. And Abraham said, "You have taken besides Allah idols only as a bond of affection among you in worldly life, but on the day of resurrection you will deny one another and curse one another, and your refuge will be the fire, and you will not have any helpers." Surah Al-Ankabut 29:25. In addition to rejecting physical idols, the Quran warns against other forms of idolatry, such as the worship of wealth, power, or desires. It calls on believers to submit wholly to Allah, recognizing His authority over all aspects of life. Tawheed also encompasses the belief in Allah's attributes, known as the Asma'ul Husna, or the 99 beautiful names. These attributes describe the various aspects of Allah's nature, such as His mercy, wisdom, and omnipotence. Understanding and reflecting on these attributes help Muslims develop a deeper relationship with Allah and strive to embody these qualities in their own lives. Furthermore, the Quran highlights the significance of worship as an expression of monotheism. Acts of worship, such as prayer, fasting, and charity, are seen as ways to acknowledge Allah's supremacy and express gratitude for His blessings. The Quran emphasizes that these acts should be performed sincerely for Allah's sake, without any desire for recognition or reward from others. Say, "Indeed, my prayer, my rites of sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No partner has He, and this I have been commanded, and I am the first among you of the Muslims." Surah Al-An'am 6:162-163. The theme of monotheism in the Quran is not just a theological concept, but a comprehensive worldview that shapes the ethical, spiritual, and social dimensions of a Muslim's life. It calls for a holistic submission to Allah, recognizing His oneness in every aspect of existence. Chapter 17. Prophets and Messengers. The Quran places great emphasis on the stories and teachings of prophets and messengers who were sent by Allah to guide humanity. These narratives serve multiple purposes. They provide moral and spiritual lessons, affirm the continuity of the divine message, and highlight the challenges and triumphs of the prophets. One of the most frequently mentioned prophets in the Quran is Moses, Musa. His story is detailed extensively, illustrating his mission to liberate the Israelites from the tyranny of Pharaoh. The Quran recounts the various miracles performed by Moses, such as the parting of the Red Sea, and his encounters with Pharaoh, who is depicted as the archetype of tyranny and disbelief. And we inspired to Moses, "Strike with your staff the sea," and it parted, and each portion was like a great towering mountain. Surah Ash-Shu'ara 26:63. The story of Moses emphasizes themes of faith, perseverance, and divine justice. It serves as a reminder of Allah's support for the righteous and His ability to deliver them from oppression. Another significant prophet in the Quran is Ibrahim, who is revered as a patriarch in Islam. His unwavering faith in Allah and his willingness to sacrifice his son, Ismail, upon Allah's command, exemplify his devotion and submission. The Quranic narrative of Abraham also highlights his role in establishing the Kaaba as a center of monotheistic worship. And mention when Abraham was raising the foundations of the house, and with him Ishmael, saying, "Our Lord, accept this from us. Indeed, you are the hearing, the knowing." Surah Al-Baqarah 2027. The story of Joseph, Yusuf, is another powerful narrative in the Quran, depicting his journey from being betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery to rising to a position of power in Egypt. Joseph's story is one of patience, forgiveness, and trust in Allah's plan, showing how faith and integrity can triumph over adversity. And he raised his parents upon the throne, and they bowed to him in prostration. And he said, "O my father, this is the explanation of my vision of before. My Lord has made it reality, and he was certainly good to me when he took me out of prison and brought you here from Bedouin life after Satan had induced estrangement between me and my brothers. Indeed, my Lord is subtle in what he wills. Indeed, it is he who is the knowing, the wise." Surah Yusuf 12:100. The Quran also tells the stories of other prophets such as Noah, Nuh, Hud, Salih, Lut, Shuaib, and Jonah, Yunus. Each prophet's story carries unique lessons and reflects the universal themes of monotheism, justice, and mercy. Jesus, Isa, is another prominent figure in the Quran. He is regarded as a prophet and messenger, born miraculously to the Virgin Mary, Maryam. The Quran acknowledges his miracles, such as healing the sick and raising the dead, performed by Allah's permission. However, it firmly rejects the notion of his divinity, emphasizing his role as a servant of Allah. Jesus said, "Indeed, I am the servant of Allah. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet, and he has made me blessed wherever I am, and has enjoined upon me prayer and zakah, as long as I remain alive." Surah Maryam 19:30-31. The stories of the prophets in the Quran are not just historical accounts, but are intended to inspire and guide believers. They highlight the resilience, faith, and dedication required to uphold the message of monotheism and righteousness. The prophets serve as role models, demonstrating how to navigate the trials of life with unwavering faith in Allah. Chapter 18. The Hereafter. The Quran places significant emphasis on the concept of the hereafter, Akhirah, which includes the Day of Judgment, heaven, Jannah, and hell, Jahannam. The belief in the hereafter is a cornerstone of Islamic faith, influencing the moral and ethical conduct of Muslims. The Day of Judgment, known as Yawm al-Qiyamah, is described in vivid detail in the Quran. It is a day when all human beings will be resurrected and held accountable for their deeds. The Quran paints a dramatic picture of the events that will unfold, emphasizing the suddenness and magnitude of the day. The day they see it, it will be as though they had not remained in the world, except for an afternoon or a morning thereof. Surah An-Nazi'at 79:46. On this day, every individual will be judged with complete justice. The Quran stresses that no deed, big or small, will go unnoticed. The scales of justice will be set, and people's actions will be weighed. And the weighing of deeds that day will be the truth. So those whose scales are heavy, it is they who will be the successful. And those whose scales are light, they are the ones who will lose themselves for what injustice they were doing toward our verses. Surah Al-A'raf 7:8-9. For those who have led righteous lives, following the guidance of Allah and striving for good, the Quran promises the eternal reward of Jannah, heaven. Descriptions of Jannah are filled with imagery of gardens, rivers, and unimaginable pleasures, symbolizing the ultimate fulfillment and peace. Indeed, the righteous will be among gardens and rivers, in a seat of honor near a sovereign, perfect in ability. Surah Al-Qamar 54:55. In contrast, those who have rejected faith and committed evil deeds will face the punishment of Jahannam, hell. The Quran uses stark and often terrifying imagery to describe the suffering and despair of the inhabitants of hell, serving as a powerful deterrent against sinful behavior. But those who disbelieved and denied our signs, they are the companions of hellfire. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:10. The belief in the hereafter is not merely about rewards and punishments. It also serves as a reminder of the transient nature of this world. The Quran encourages believers to focus on their ultimate purpose and the eternal life to come, rather than being overly attached to worldly pursuits. Know that the life of this world is but amusement and diversion and adornment and boasting to one another and competition and increase of wealth and children. Like the example of a rain whose resulting plant growth pleases the tillers. Then it dries and you see it turned yellow. Then it becomes scattered debris. And in the hereafter is severe punishment and forgiveness from Allah and approval. And what is the worldly life except the enjoyment of delusion? Surah Al-Hadid 57:20. The Quranic concept of the hereafter also emphasizes the importance of repentance and seeking forgiveness. It assures believers that Allah is most merciful and that sincere repentance can lead to salvation and forgiveness. Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful. Surah Az-Zumar 39:53. The belief in the hereafter shapes the ethical framework of Islam, encouraging believers to live righteous lives, seek forgiveness for their shortcomings, and remain mindful of their ultimate accountability to Allah. Chapter 19. Legal and Ethical Guidance. The Quran provides comprehensive legal and ethical guidance, addressing various aspects of personal conduct, social relations, and community life. Its teachings form the foundation of Sharia, Islamic law, which encompasses both legal rules and moral principles. One of the key areas of legal guidance in the Quran is family law. The Quran outlines the rights and responsibilities of family members, emphasizing the importance of justice, compassion, and mutual respect. It provides detailed instructions on marriage, divorce, inheritance, and the rights of women and children. In terms of marriage, the Quran encourages the institution of marriage as a means of fostering love, companionship, and stability. It sets forth the criteria for choosing a spouse and highlights the mutual rights and obligations of husbands and wives. And of His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them. And He placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. When it comes to divorce, the Quran provides a balanced approach, allowing it as a last resort while emphasizing reconciliation and fairness. It lays down procedures for divorce, ensuring that the rights of both parties are protected and that any children are cared for. Divorce is twice. Then either keep her in an acceptable manner or release her with good treatment. Surah Al-Baqarah 229. The Quran also addresses inheritance laws, ensuring that the wealth of a deceased person is distributed fairly among their heirs. These laws aim to protect the rights of women and children, who were often deprived of inheritance in pre-Islamic Arabia. Allah instructs you concerning your children. For the male, what is equal to the share of 2 females? Surah An-Nisa 4:11. In addition to family law, the Quran provides ethical guidelines for personal conduct. It emphasizes virtues such as honesty, integrity, patience, and humility. Believers are encouraged to uphold these values in their daily interactions, and to strive for moral excellence. And do not mix the truth with falsehood or conceal the truth while you know it. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:42. O you who have believed, fear Allah and speak words of appropriate justice. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:70. The Quran also addresses social justice and the rights of the marginalized. It calls for the protection of orphans, the poor, and the needy, and emphasizes the importance of charity, zakat, as a means of wealth redistribution and social welfare. And give the relative his right, and also the poor and the traveler, and do not spend wastefully. Surah Al-Isra 17:26. Indeed, those who believe and do righteous deeds and establish prayer and give zakat will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Surah Al-Baqarah 2277. In the realm of criminal justice, the Quran sets forth principles of retribution and forgiveness. It establishes punishments for certain crimes, such as theft and murder, while also encouraging mercy and the possibility of repentance and rehabilitation. And the retribution for an injury is an injury equal thereto in degree. But if anyone forgives and makes reconciliation, his reward is due from Allah. Indeed, He does not like wrongdoers. Surah Ash-Shura 42:40. Overall, the Quran's legal and ethical guidance seeks to create a just and compassionate society where the rights and dignity of every individual are upheld. It provides a comprehensive framework for personal conduct and social relations rooted in the principles of justice, mercy, and accountability to Allah. Chapter 20. Social Justice. Social justice is a core principle in the Quran, deeply embedded in its teachings and reflected in the life of Prophet Muhammad. The Quran's emphasis on social justice addresses issues such as the rights of the poor and needy, the protection of the marginalized, and the establishment of a fair and equitable society. One of the most significant aspects of social justice in the Quran is the obligation of zakat, or almsgiving. Zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it requires Muslims to give a portion of their wealth to those in need. This act of charity serves as a means of wealth redistribution, helping to alleviate poverty and reduce economic disparities. And establish prayer and give zakat, and whatever good you put forward for yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Indeed, Allah of what you do is seeing. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:1-10. The Quran also emphasizes the importance of voluntary charity, sadaqah, beyond the obligatory zakat. Believers are encouraged to give generously and selflessly, seeking the pleasure of Allah and the betterment of society. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain that sprouts 7 ears. In every ear is 100 grains, and Allah multiplies His reward for whom He wills. And Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:261. In addition to financial support, the Quran calls for the protection and empowerment of vulnerable groups, such as orphans, widows, and travelers. It warns against exploiting or mistreating them, and emphasizes the importance of kindness and compassion. And give the orphans their property, and do not substitute the defective of your own for the good of theirs, and do not consume their property into your own. Indeed, that is ever a great sin. Surah An-Nisa 4:2. The Quran also addresses the issue of slavery, a common practice in pre-Islamic Arabia. While it does not abolish slavery outright, it introduces measures to improve the treatment of slaves and encourages their emancipation. freeing a slave is considered a virtuous act that brings great reward. And what can make you know what is breaking through the difficult pass? It is the freeing of a slave. Surah Al-Balad 90:12-13. The Quranic principles of justice extend to the treatment of women, advocating for their rights and protection. In a society where women were often marginalized, the Quran emphasizes their dignity and value, granting them rights in areas such as inheritance, education, and participation in social and economic activities. And for women is a portion of what the parents and close relatives leave, be it little or much, an obligatory share. Surah An-Nisa 4:7. Furthermore, the Quran condemns all forms of injustice and oppression, calling on believers to stand up for what is right and to support the oppressed. It emphasizes that justice should be upheld even if it goes against one's own interests or those of close relatives. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not personal inclination, lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed Allah is ever, with what you do, acquainted. Surah An-Nisa 4:135. The Quranic vision of social justice also encompasses the fair treatment of workers and the importance of honest business practices. It condemns exploitation, fraud, and dishonesty, urging believers to conduct their affairs with integrity and fairness. O you who have believed, do not consume one another's wealth unjustly or send it in bribery to the rulers, in order that they might aid you to consume a portion of the wealth of the people in sin, while you know it is unlawful. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:88. The Quran's emphasis on social justice is not limited to specific acts of charity or fairness, but extends to the overall vision of creating a just and compassionate society. It calls on individuals and communities to uphold the values of justice, mercy, and compassion in all aspects of life, reflecting the divine attributes of Allah. By adhering to these principles, Muslims are encouraged to work towards a society where everyone, regardless of their social or economic status, is treated with dignity and respect, and where the rights and well-being of the most vulnerable are safeguarded. Chapter 21. Family and Marriage. The Quran places a strong emphasis on the importance of family and marriage, providing detailed guidance on how to build and maintain healthy, harmonious relationships. Family is considered the cornerstone of society, and marriage is seen as a sacred contract between two individuals who come together to support and complement each other. Marriage in Islam is based on mutual consent, love, and respect. The Quran describes the relationship between spouses as one of tranquility, affection, and mercy. This is beautifully captured in the following verse. And of his signs is that he created for you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them. And he placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. The Quran encourages the selection of a spouse based on piety and good character rather than wealth or social status. It stresses the importance of mutual respect, kindness, and understanding between husband and wife. The rights and responsibilities of both spouses are clearly outlined, ensuring a balanced and equitable relationship. In terms of marital duties, the Quran emphasizes the importance of providing for one's family, both materially and emotionally. Husbands are instructed to treat their wives with kindness and to provide for their needs. Similarly, wives are encouraged to be supportive partners and to contribute to the household in various ways. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has given the one more strength than the other, and because they support them from their means. Therefore, the righteous women are devoutly obedient and guard in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. Surah An-Nisa 4:34. The Quran also addresses the issue of divorce, acknowledging that in some cases, a marriage may not work out despite the best efforts of both parties. Divorce is permitted as a last resort, but it must be carried out with fairness and respect. The Quran provides detailed guidelines on the process of divorce, ensuring that the rights of both parties are protected. Divorce is twice. Then, either keep her in an acceptable manner or release her with good treatment. Surah Al-Baqarah 2229. In addition to marriage, the Quran places great importance on the upbringing and education of children. Parents are seen as the primary educators and role models for their children. They are responsible for providing a nurturing environment that fosters moral and spiritual development. The Quran encourages parents to instill values of faith, kindness, and respect in their children. O you who have believed, protect yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones. Surah At-Tahrim 66:6. The relationship between parents and children is also highlighted in the Quran, emphasizing the importance of honoring and respecting one's parents. Children are instructed to be kind and dutiful to their parents, recognizing their sacrifices and efforts in raising them. And we have enjoined upon man care for his parents. His mother carried him, increasing her in weakness upon weakness, and his weaning is in 2 years. Be grateful to me and to your parents. To me is the final destination. Surah Luqman 31:14. Family and marriage in Islam are not just about fulfilling social or biological functions, but are seen as integral parts of one's spiritual journey. The Quranic teachings on family and marriage aim to create a stable, loving, and supportive environment where individuals can grow and thrive, both spiritually and emotionally. Chapter 22. Economic Principles. The Quran provides a comprehensive framework for economic principles, emphasizing justice, fairness, and ethical conduct in all financial dealings. These principles are designed to create a balanced and equitable society where wealth is distributed fairly and the needs of all individuals are met. One of the fundamental economic principles in the Quran is the prohibition of usury, riba. Usury is seen as exploitative and unjust, leading to the accumulation of wealth by a few at the expense of the many. The Quran explicitly condemns usury and encourages trade and commerce based on mutual benefit and fairness. O you who have believed, do not consume usury, doubled and multiplied, but fear Allah that you may be successful. Surah Al-Imran 3:1-30. Those who consume interest cannot stand on the day of resurrection, except as one stands who is being beaten by Satan into insanity. That is because they say, trade is just like interest. But Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden interest. Surah Al-Baqarah 2275. The Quran also promotes the principles of honesty and transparency in business transactions. It emphasizes the importance of fulfilling contracts and not engaging in fraudulent or deceptive practices. Ethical conduct in trade is seen as a reflection of one's faith and integrity. O you who have believed, fulfill all contracts. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:11. And do not consume one another's wealth unjustly or send it in bribery to the rulers in order that they might aid you to consume a portion of the wealth of the people in sin, while you know it is unlawful. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:1-8. Charity, zakat, is another cornerstone of the Quranic economic principles. Zakat is an obligatory form of almsgiving, where Muslims are required to give a portion of their wealth to those in need. This act of charity serves to redistribute wealth, alleviate poverty, and promote social welfare. And establish prayer and give zakat, and whatever good you put forward for yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Indeed, Allah of what you do is seeing. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:1-10. Beyond the obligatory zakat, the Quran encourages voluntary charity, sadaqah, as a means of helping others and earning spiritual rewards. Generosity and compassion towards the less fortunate are highly valued, and believers are urged to give freely without expecting anything in return. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain that sprouts 7 ears. In every ear is 100 grains, and Allah multiplies His reward for whom He wills. And Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:261. The Quran also addresses issues related to inheritance, ensuring that wealth is distributed fairly among heirs. These inheritance laws aim to protect the rights of women and children, who are often deprived of their share in pre-Islamic societies. Allah instructs you concerning your children, for the male, what is equal to the share of 2 females. Surah An-Nisa 4:11. Moreover, the Quran promotes the concept of moderation in spending. It warns against extravagance and wastefulness, encouraging believers to strike a balance between fulfilling their needs and sharing their wealth with others. Indeed, the wasteful are brothers of the devils, and ever has Satan been to his Lord ungrateful. Surah Al-Isra 17:27. The economic principles outlined in the Quran aim to create a just and equitable society, where wealth is not concentrated in the hands of a few, but is distributed fairly to ensure the well-being of all members of the community. These principles reflect the values of justice, compassion, and social responsibility that are central to Islamic teachings. Chapter 23. Education and Knowledge. The Quran places a significant emphasis on the importance of education and knowledge, considering them essential for the spiritual and intellectual development of individuals and the progress of society as a whole. The pursuit of knowledge is seen as a form of worship and a means of understanding the divine. One of the first revelations to Prophet Muhammad highlights the importance of reading and knowledge. Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging substance. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he knew not. Surah Al-Alaq 96:145. This revelation underscores the significance of literacy and learning, setting the tone for the Quranic emphasis on seeking knowledge. The Quran encourages believers to reflect on the natural world, study its signs, and understand the principles governing it as a means of appreciating the Creator's wisdom and power. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and the day are signs for those of understanding, who remember Allah while standing or sitting or lying on their sides, and give thought to the creation of the heavens and the earth, saying, Our Lord, you did not create this aimlessly. Exalted are you above such a thing. Then protect us from the punishment of the fire. Surah Al-Imran 3:190-191. The Quran also highlights the importance of seeking knowledge throughout one's life, encouraging continuous learning and intellectual growth. This pursuit of knowledge is not limited to religious studies, but encompasses all fields of human inquiry, including science, medicine, and the humanities. And they will say, if only we had been listening or reasoning, we would not be among the companions of the blaze. Surah Al-Mulk 67:10. In addition to personal development, the Quran emphasizes the societal benefits of education. It encourages the establishment of educational institutions and the dissemination of knowledge, recognizing that an educated populace is essential for the well-being and advancement of society. The Quran also addresses the importance of teaching and learning within the family. Parents are encouraged to educate their children, instilling in them values of faith, morality, and intellectual curiosity. The Quranic stories of prophets, such as the interaction between Luqman and his son, highlight the role of parents in guiding and nurturing their children's intellectual and spiritual growth. And mention when Luqman said to his son while he was instructing him, "O my son, do not associate anything with Allah. Indeed, association with him is great injustice." Surah Luqman 31-13. Furthermore, the Quran promotes the concept of critical thinking and reflection. It encourages believers to question, analyze, and seek evidence, fostering a culture of intellectual rigor and inquiry. Do they not reflect upon themselves? Allah created the heavens and the earth and everything between them in truth and for an appointed term. Yet many people deny they will meet their Lord. Surah Ar-Rum 38. The pursuit of knowledge in Islam is also linked to humility and the recognition of human limitations. The Quran reminds believers that, despite their quest for knowledge, there are mysteries beyond human comprehension, and ultimate knowledge rests with Allah. And of knowledge, you, mankind, have been given only a little. Surah Al-Isra 1785. Overall, the Quranic emphasis on education and knowledge reflects the belief that intellectual and spiritual growth are intertwined. By seeking knowledge, believers not only enhance their understanding of the world and its creator, but also fulfill a key aspect of their religious duty, contributing to the betterment of themselves and society. Chapter 24. Spirituality and Worship. The Quran places a profound emphasis on spirituality and worship, guiding believers in their relationship with Allah and providing a framework for spiritual development. Worship in Islam encompasses both specific rituals and a broader sense of living a life in accordance with divine guidance. Central to Islamic worship is the concept of Tawhid, the oneness of Allah, which forms the basis of all acts of worship. The primary acts of worship, known as the 5 pillars of Islam, are designed to cultivate a deep and personal connection with Allah. The first pillar, the Shahada, declaration of faith, is the testimony that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. This declaration is the foundation of a Muslim's faith and identity, reaffirming their commitment to monotheism. The second pillar, Salah, prayer, involves performing 5 daily prayers at prescribed times. These prayers are a direct link between the believer and Allah, serving as a constant reminder of the divine presence and fostering a sense of discipline and mindfulness. Establish prayer at the decline of the sun from its meridian until the darkness of the night, and also the Quran at dawn. Indeed, the recitation of the Quran at dawn is ever witnessed. Surah Al-Isra 1778. The third pillar, Zakat, almsgiving, requires Muslims to give a portion of their wealth to those in need. This act of charity not only helps alleviate poverty, but also purifies the giver's wealth and fosters a sense of solidarity and compassion within the community. The fourth pillar, Saum, fasting, is observed during the month of Ramadan. Muslims fast from dawn to sunset, refraining from food, drink, and other physical needs. Fasting is a means of spiritual purification, self-discipline, and empathy for the less fortunate. O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:183. The fifth pillar, Hajj, pilgrimage, involves making a pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca at least once in a lifetime, if one is physically and financially able. Hajj is a profound act of worship that symbolizes the unity and equality of Muslims worldwide as they gather to perform rituals commemorating the faith of Abraham and proclaim to the people the Hajj, pilgrimage. They will come to you on foot and on every lean camel. They will come from every distant pass. Surah Al-Hajj 22:27. Beyond these rituals, the Quran emphasizes the importance of sincerity and intention, niyyah, in all acts of worship. Worship is not merely about performing rituals, but about cultivating a sincere devotion to Allah and seeking His pleasure. It is not their meat nor their blood that reaches Allah. It is your piety that reaches Him. Surah Al-Hajj 22:37. The Quran also highlights the significance of dhikr, remembrance of Allah, encouraging believers to remember Allah in all aspects of their lives. This constant remembrance fosters a sense of spiritual awareness and closeness to the divine. O you who have believed, remember Allah with much remembrance and exalt Him morning and afternoon. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:41-42. In addition to prescribed acts of worship, the Quran encourages voluntary acts of devotion, such as extra prayers, nafil, recitation of the Quran, and acts of kindness and charity. These acts enhance one's spirituality and bring additional rewards. So race to all that is good. Wherever you may be, Allah will bring you forth for judgment altogether. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:148. Overall, the Quranic teachings on spirituality and worship aim to cultivate a holistic approach to faith, where rituals and daily actions are infused with a sense of devotion and purpose. This spiritual framework helps believers develop a deeper connection with Allah, live ethically, and contribute positively to their communities. Chapter 25. Moral Conduct. The Quran places a strong emphasis on moral conduct, guiding believers in their interactions with others and their personal behavior. Islamic ethics, as outlined in the Quran, encompass a wide range of virtues and principles designed to promote justice, compassion, and integrity. One of the central ethical principles in the Quran is the concept of justice, adl. Believers are called upon to uphold justice in all aspects of their lives, whether in personal relationships, business dealings, or social affairs. Justice is seen as a fundamental attribute of Allah, and humans are encouraged to embody this virtue. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not personal inclination, lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed Allah is ever, with what you do, acquainted. Surah An-Nisa 4:135. Honesty and truthfulness are also highly valued in the Quran. Believers are instructed to speak the truth and avoid deceit and falsehood. Integrity in speech and action is seen as a reflection of one's faith and character. O you who have believed, Fear Allah and speak words of appropriate justice. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:70. And do not mix the truth with falsehood or conceal the truth while you know it. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-42. The Quran also emphasizes the importance of kindness and compassion towards others. This includes showing mercy and forgiveness, helping those in need, and treating others with respect and dignity. The concept of ihsan, or excellence in conduct, encourages believers to go beyond mere justice and strive for benevolence and generosity. Indeed, Allah orders justice and good conduct and giving to relatives and forbids immorality and bad conduct and oppression. He admonishes you that perhaps you will be reminded. Surah An-Nahl 1690. The treatment of parents and elders is given special attention in the Quran. Believers are instructed to honor and care for their parents, recognizing their sacrifices and efforts. Disrespect or neglect of parents is strongly condemned, and your Lord has decreed that you not worship except Him, and to parents, good treatment, whether one or both of them reach old age. While with you, say not to them so much as "uff," and do not repel them, but speak to them a noble word. Surah Al-Isra 17:23. The Quran also addresses the importance of humility and modesty. Arrogance and pride are seen as negative traits, while humility is encouraged as a sign of true faith and self-awareness. And do not walk upon the earth exultantly. Indeed, you will never tear the earth apart, and you will never reach the mountains in height. Surah Al-Isra 17:37. The servants of the Most Merciful are those who walk upon the earth easily, and when the ignorant address them harshly, they say words of peace. Surah Al-Furqan 25:63. Patience, sabr, is another key virtue emphasized in the Quran. Believers are encouraged to remain steadfast in the face of trials and difficulties, trusting in Allah's wisdom and timing. Patience is seen as a source of strength and resilience. O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. Gratitude, shukr, is also highlighted as an essential aspect of moral conduct. Believers are encouraged to be thankful for Allah's blessings and to express their gratitude through words and actions. And remember when your Lord proclaimed, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor. But if you deny, indeed, my punishment is severe." Surah Ibrahim 14:7. The Quran's teachings on moral conduct aim to create a society based on mutual respect, compassion, and justice. By adhering to these ethical principles, believers can foster positive relationships, contribute to the well-being of their communities, and fulfill their spiritual and moral responsibilities. Chapter 26. The Role of Women. The Quran's approach to the role of women is both progressive and comprehensive, emphasizing their rights, responsibilities, and the importance of their participation in various aspects of life. The Quran acknowledges the inherent dignity and equality of women, addressing issues related to their social, economic, and spiritual status. One of the most significant aspects of the Quran's treatment of women is the recognition of their equality before Allah. Both men and women are seen as equally capable of attaining spiritual and moral excellence. The Quran emphasizes that the rewards of faith and righteous deeds are available to all, regardless of gender. Indeed, the Muslim men and Muslim women, the believing men and believing women, the obedient men and obedient women, the truthful men and truthful women, the patient men and patient women, the humble men and humble women, the charitable men and charitable women, the fasting men and fasting women, the men who guard their private parts and the women who do so, and the men who remember Allah often and the women who do so. For them Allah has prepared forgiveness and a great reward. Surah Al-Ahzab 33-35. The Quran also provides specific rights and protections for women in various aspects of life, including marriage, divorce, inheritance, and education. In the context of marriage, the Quran emphasizes the importance of mutual consent, kindness, and respect between spouses. Women have the right to choose their partners and to receive a dowry, mahar, as a symbol of their husband's commitment. O you who have believed, it is not lawful for you to inherit women by compulsion, and do not make difficulties for them in order to take back part of what you gave them unless they commit a clear immorality. And live with them in kindness, for if you dislike them, perhaps you dislike a thing, and Allah makes therein much good. Surah An-Nisa 4:19. In the event of divorce, the Quran provides clear guidelines to ensure that women are treated fairly and with dignity. They are entitled to financial support during and after the waiting period, iddah, and their rights to custody and maintenance of children are protected. Divorce is twice. Then, either keep her in an acceptable manner or release her with good treatment. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:229. The Quranic inheritance laws also reflect the importance of women's rights. While the share of inheritance for women is generally half that of men, this provision ensures financial security and acknowledges their contributions to the family. It is important to note that these laws were revolutionary at the time, providing women with guaranteed financial rights that were often denied in other cultures. Allah instructs you concerning your children. For the male, what is equal to the share of two females. Surah An-Nisa 4:11. Education is another area where the Quran emphasizes the importance of women's participation. The pursuit of knowledge is seen as a duty for both men and women, and the Quran encourages all believers to seek education and intellectual growth. The Quran also acknowledges the contributions of women in various spheres of life, including their roles as mothers, wives, and members of the community. It highlights the exemplary lives of women such as Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, who are praised for their piety, strength, and resilience. And the example of Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity, so we blew into her garment through our angel, and she believed in the words of her Lord and his scriptures, and was of the devoutly obedient. Surah At-Tahrim 66:12. In addition to their familial roles, women in the early Muslim community were active participants in social, political, and economic life. They engaged in trade, owned property, and contributed to the community's well-being. The Prophet Muhammad's wives, such as Khadija and Aisha, played significant roles in supporting and spreading the message of Islam. Overall, the Quran's teachings on the role of women emphasize their inherent dignity, equality, and importance in society. By upholding these principles, Islam seeks to create a just and balanced community where both men and women can thrive and contribute to the common good. Chapter 27. Interfaith Relations. The Quran provides a comprehensive framework for interfaith relations, emphasizing respect, dialogue, and peaceful coexistence with people of other faiths. The teachings of the Quran highlight the importance of recognizing common values, fostering mutual understanding, and upholding justice and compassion in interactions with followers of different religions. One of the fundamental principles of interfaith relations in the Quran is the acknowledgement of the diversity of human beliefs and the emphasis on respecting this diversity. The Quran recognizes that people have different faiths and encourages Muslims to engage with them in a respectful and peaceful manner. To you be your religion, and to me my religion. Surah Al-Kafirun 109-6. The Quran also emphasizes the importance of common values and shared beliefs among different religious communities. It highlights the continuity of the divine message and the common heritage of monotheism, which includes the belief in one God, moral and ethical principles, and the pursuit of justice and compassion. Say, O people of the Scripture, come to a word that is equitable between us and you, that we will not worship except Allah and not associate anything with Him and not take one another as lords instead of Allah. But if they turn away, then say, bear witness that we are Muslims, submitting to Him. Surah Al-Imran 364. The Quran encourages dialogue and constructive engagement with people of other faiths. It calls for respectful and reasoned discussions, emphasizing the importance of wisdom and good conduct in these interactions. Invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom and good instruction, and argue with them in a way that is best. Indeed, your Lord is most knowing of who has strayed from His way, and He is most knowing of who is rightly guided. Surah An-Nahl 16:125. In addition to dialogue, the Quran advocates for peaceful coexistence and cooperation with people of different faiths. It instructs Muslims to treat non-Muslims with kindness and justice, as long as they do not engage in hostility or oppression. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of religion, and do not expel you from your homes, from being righteous toward them and acting justly toward them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. Surah Al-Mumtahana 60-8. The Quran also provides guidance on how to respond to hostility and aggression from followers of other faiths. It emphasizes the importance of patience, forgiveness, and the pursuit of peace, while also allowing for self-defense when necessary. And if you punish an enemy, O believers, punish with an equivalent of that with which you were harmed. But if you are patient, it is better for those who are patient. Surah An-Nahl 16:126. And do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is acquainted with what you do. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:8. The Quranic teachings on interfaith relations also include the recognition of the people of the book, Al-Kitab, which refers to Jews and Christians. The Quran acknowledges their scriptures and prophets and encourages respectful and cooperative relations with them. And do not argue with the people of the scripture, except in a way that is best, except for those who commit injustice among them, and say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and revealed to you. And our God and your God is one, and we are Muslims in submission to Him. Surah Al-Ankabut 29:46. Overall, the Quran's teachings on interfaith relations emphasize the importance of respect, dialogue, and peaceful coexistence. By upholding these principles, Islam seeks to create a society where people of different faiths can live together in harmony, recognizing their shared values and working towards the common good. Chapter 28. Prophetic Traditions, Hadith. The Quran, while being the primary source of guidance for Muslims, is complemented by the Hadith, which are the sayings, actions, and approvals of the Prophet Muhammad. The Hadith play a crucial role in explaining and elaborating on the Quranic teachings, providing practical examples of how to implement the principles of Islam in daily life. The hadith literature is vast and encompasses various aspects of life, including theology, law, ethics, and spirituality. The sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad serve as a practical guide for Muslims, demonstrating how to apply the Quranic teachings in different situations. The hadith are classified into various categories based on their authenticity and the chain of transmission, isnad. The most authentic collections of hadith are known as the Sahih, which include Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Other important collections include Sunan Abu Dawud, Sunan at-Tirmidhi, Sunan an-Nasa'i, and Sunan ibn Majah. The compilation and preservation of hadith involved rigorous scholarly efforts to ensure their authenticity. Early Muslim scholars developed a science of hadith criticism, examining the chain of narrators and the content of the hadith to determine their reliability. This meticulous process helped establish a reliable body of hadith that serves as a valuable source of guidance for Muslims. One of the key functions of the hadith is to provide context and explanation for the Quranic verses. The hadith clarify the meanings of certain verses, elaborate on the circumstances of their revelation, asbab al-nuzul, and provide practical examples of how the Prophet Muhammad implemented the Quranic teachings. For instance, the Quran instructs Muslims to perform the 5 daily prayers, but it does not provide detailed instructions on how to perform them. The hadith fill this gap by describing the specific actions, words, and timings of the prayers, as demonstrated by the Prophet Muhammad. Pray as you have seen me praying. Sahih al-Bukhari. The hadith also play a crucial role in shaping Islamic law, Sharia. Many legal rulings are derived from the hadith, addressing issues not explicitly mentioned in the Quran. The hadith provide detailed guidance on matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, business transactions, and criminal justice. For example, the Quran prescribes the punishment for theft, but it is the hadith that provide further details on the conditions and implementation of this punishment. The hadith ensure that the legal rulings are applied in a just and compassionate manner, in line with the overall principles of Islam. The hadith also offer valuable insights into the character and conduct of the Prophet Muhammad. They highlight his virtues, such as honesty, humility, kindness, and patience, providing a model for Muslims to emulate. The Prophet's interactions with his family, companions, and even his enemies serve as examples of how to embody the ethical principles of Islam in everyday life. The best of you are those who are best to their families, and I am the best of you to my family. Sunan at-Tirmidhi. In addition to legal and ethical guidance, the hadith address matters of spirituality and personal development. They encourage believers to cultivate virtues such as sincerity, gratitude, patience, and reliance on Allah. The hadith also provide guidance on acts of worship, such as fasting, charity, and seeking knowledge. Whoever treads a path in seeking knowledge, Allah will make easy for him the path to paradise. Sahih Muslim. The hadith, together with the Quran, form the foundation of Islamic teachings. They provide a comprehensive and practical guide for Muslims, helping them navigate the complexities of life while staying true to their faith. The preservation and transmission of the hadith reflect the dedication of early Muslim scholars to preserving the legacy of the Prophet Muhammad and ensuring that his teachings continue to inspire and guide future generations. Chapter 29. Preservation of the Quran. preservation of the Quran is a remarkable testament to the dedication and meticulous efforts of the early Muslim community. From the moment of its revelation to the present day, the Quran has been preserved with unparalleled accuracy and care, ensuring that its message remains intact for future generations. During the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran was revealed over a period of 23 years. The revelations were conveyed orally, and the Prophet's companions memorized and recorded them. The process of memorization, hifz, played a crucial role in preserving the Quran, with many of the Prophet's companions becoming hafiz, individuals who had memorized the entire Quran. In addition to memorization, the Quranic revelations were written down on various materials, such as parchment, palm leaves, and bones. Scribes, known as Katib al-Wahi, were appointed by the Prophet to record the revelations under his supervision. This ensured that the written copies were accurate and free from errors. After the death of the Prophet Muhammad, the first caliph, Abu Bakr, initiated the compilation of the Quran into a single, written manuscript. This decision was prompted by the deaths of several companions who had memorized the Quran during the battles of Ridda. Fearing the loss of the Quranic text, Abu Bakr tasked Zayd ibn Thabit, one of the Prophet's scribes, with the compilation. Zayd ibn Thabit undertook the monumental task of collecting the Quranic verses from written materials and the memories of the companions. The compiled manuscript was then verified and cross-checked for accuracy. This compilation, known as the Mushaf, served as the authoritative written copy of the Quran. During the caliphate of Uthman ibn Affan, the third caliph, further efforts were made to standardize the Quranic text. As Islam expanded beyond the Arabian Peninsula, differences in dialect and pronunciation began to emerge. To prevent any discrepancies, Uthman ordered the creation of multiple copies of the Mushaf and sent them to different regions of the Islamic Empire. He also instructed that all other copies be destroyed to ensure uniformity. These efforts by Uthman ensured that the Quranic text remained consistent across different regions and generations. The standardized Mushaf, known as the Uthmanic Codex, forms the basis of the Quranic text used by Muslims today. The preservation of the Quran extends beyond its written form. The tradition of memorization continues to this day, with millions of Muslims around the world memorizing the entire Quran. This practice, known as hifz, ensures that the Quran remains preserved in the hearts and minds of believers. In addition to memorization, the recitation, tajweed, of the Quran has been meticulously preserved. The rules of tajweed govern the proper pronunciation and recitation of the Quranic text, ensuring that it is recited as it was revealed. This oral tradition, passed down through generations, plays a crucial role in preserving the authenticity of the Quranic recitation. The Quran has also been translated into numerous languages, making its message accessible to people worldwide. While translations provide an understanding of the Quran's meaning, the original Arabic text remains the definitive and preserved word of Allah. The preservation of the Quran is a reflection of the divine promise to protect and safeguard the scripture. Indeed, it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed, we will be its guardian. Surah Al-Hijr 15:9. The meticulous efforts of the early Muslim community, the tradition of memorization, the standardization of the text, and the preservation of recitation have all contributed to the unparalleled preservation of the Quran. This ensures that the message of the Quran remains intact, unaltered, and accessible to Muslims around the world, serving as a timeless source of guidance and inspiration. Chapter 30. The Quran's impact. The impact of the Quran extends far beyond the religious and spiritual realms, influencing various aspects of individual lives, societies, and civilizations throughout history. As the foundational text of Islam, the Quran has shaped the beliefs, values, and practices of Muslims, while also contributing to the cultural, intellectual, and social development of the Islamic world. One of the most profound impacts of the Quran is its role in shaping the spiritual and moral lives of Muslims. The Quran provides guidance on how to live a life that is pleasing to Allah, emphasizing the importance of faith, righteousness, and ethical conduct. Its teachings inspire Muslims to cultivate virtues such as honesty, compassion, humility, and patience, while avoiding vices such as dishonesty, arrogance, and greed. The Quran also plays a central role in the daily lives of Muslims through acts of worship and devotion. The recitation of the Quran during prayers, salah, the practice of memorization, hifz, and the study of its verses are integral aspects of Muslim spirituality. The Quran's teachings provide comfort, guidance, and a sense of purpose, helping believers navigate the challenges of life. The impact of the Quran extends to the social and legal spheres as well. The principles of justice, equality, and compassion outlined in the Quran have influenced the development of Islamic law, Sharia, and governance. The Quranic emphasis on social justice has led to the establishment of systems of charity, zakat, and welfare, ensuring that the needs of the less fortunate are met. The Quran's teachings on the rights and responsibilities of individuals, including women, children, and minorities, have contributed to the advancement of social justice and human rights within Islamic societies. The Quran advocates for the protection of life, property, and dignity, promoting a just and compassionate society where everyone's rights are upheld. In addition to its spiritual and social impact, the Quran has made significant contributions to the intellectual and cultural development of the Islamic world. The Quran's emphasis on knowledge and reflection has inspired advancements in various fields, including science, medicine, philosophy, and literature. The Islamic Golden Age, a period of flourishing intellectual and cultural activity from the 8th to the 14th centuries, was heavily influenced by the Quranic teachings. Scholars and scientists during this period made groundbreaking contributions to fields such as mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, and medicine, drawing inspiration from the Quranic call to seek knowledge and understand the natural world. The Quran has also had a profound influence on Islamic art and literature. Quranic calligraphy, characterized by its intricate and beautiful designs, is a highly esteemed art form that reflects the reverence for the Quranic text. The themes and stories of the Quran have inspired countless works of poetry, literature, and storytelling, enriching the cultural heritage of the Islamic world. Furthermore, the Quran's impact extends beyond the Islamic world, influencing global history and interfaith relations. The Quran's teachings on justice, compassion, and the sanctity of human life resonate with people of various faiths and backgrounds. The principles of coexistence and mutual respect outlined in the Quran have contributed to interfaith dialogue and understanding. In contemporary times, the Quran continues to inspire and guide Muslims around the world. Its teachings remain relevant, addressing modern challenges and providing a framework for ethical and moral conduct. The Quran's emphasis on justice, equality, and compassion continues to inspire movements for social justice and human rights. The Quran's impact is not limited to any specific era or region. It is a timeless and universal message that continues to shape the lives of millions of people. Its profound influence on spirituality, morality, society, and culture reflects its enduring significance as the word of Allah and a source of guidance for all humanity.